GV Wire continues its tour up Fulton Street with Craig Scharton from the Downtown Partnership. We started the JC Penney building at the corner of Fulton and Tulare.
Yeah, well, we have an owner who's been working very hard on it for the last few years, and he has his financing in place now. He's going to be submitting plans within the next month or so to the city. 66 units on the top floors, and then
that's apartment rentals?
Yeah, so more like downtown loft living. And then ground floor is where we're looking at a public market potential for that.
And what about that unique crosswalk? I asked Craig to explain the Scramble Intersection.
Scramble Intersection. So the people on Tulare Street will get a green light, then the people on Fulton Street will get a green light, and then pedestrians get a green light. So you can either cross here, cross there, or you can cross diagonally. So instead of having to wait for two lights as a pedestrian, everyone goes at once.
That'll be a concept that the people of Fresno here are going to understand. I mean, it's kind of...
Oh, yeah. I mean, as soon as people start going, you figure it out.
One of the successes of Fulton is the Patterson Building. We have the Patterson Building, which is one of the nicer little historical-looking buildings here in downtown that's been active as maybe opposed to the other blocks around here. What is going on here now? Is it the plan that retail on the first floor and housing lofts, offices?
The ground floor, there's a new business that's going in here on the corner. And then the Patterson Building is one of the buildings that never got emptied out. So it's always been active, always been full. Some of these other buildings that were completely vacant, that's when they start falling into disrepair and having trouble after they've been vacant for a certain number of years. They have to bring everything up to modern code all at once. So they're harder to do. So we really appreciate folks like this that never emptied out their building, and they've kept it going, and there are a lot of very happy tenants in that building.
Failures is across the street, the Bank of Italy building. This unfortunate red X that's been here for at least the 10 years that I've been living in this city. Why is this Bank of Italy building, how long has it been vacant? Why is it still vacant? Is anybody doing anything about it?
Yeah, we have an owner that we attracted to the building. Several of these buildings, I would say, had really bad developers. And so part of our goal was to bring in new developers to just stabilize them. JC Penney was in that same situation where an out-of-town developer just took off the roof and left it open, and rain was pouring through. So this one, we had a developer, and the manager of the building ripped out all the marble and stuff like that. So it's a really destructive people coming in. So fortunately, a local businessman, Tom Richards, bought the building. So we kind of stabilized that process.
And what would it take to rehabilitate that building?
Economics. We too often think of revitalization as something someone ought to do. You know, the government ought to do this, the developer ought to do this, but none of that works unless you fix the underlying economics. So as impatient as we are, it really is going to happen at the right time on its own.
Scharton envisions what the Bank of Italy building could be.
You could do a floor of office. Well, that second floor could be a rooftop restaurant. And then the third floor could be an office. And then the fourth floor could be housing. The fifth floor could be a boutique hotel. And then the sixth floor could be another restaurant. So developers now have the ability to respond to what the market wants. If housing pays more, or office pays more, or restaurant pays more, we get to go back into the free market economics, not the city just saying this can only be one thing and that can only be one thing.
Next time, we talk about the anchor on Fulton, the Pacific Southwest building. David Taub, GV Wire.